Jesus' teachings often came in the form of parables, short, imaginative stories that captivated his audience with vivid metaphors and thought-provoking messages. But have you ever wondered why Jesus chose this method of communication? Why not speak plainly or directly? To understand the purpose behind Jesus' parables, it's helpful to think of them as works of art. Just like a painting that evokes emotion and introspection, parables engage the mind and spirit, leaving room for deeper reflection and discovery. In this article, we explore the reasons behind Jesus' use of parables and how they serve as powerful, mysterious tools for conveying profound truths. Imagine looking at a painting in an art museum. In a line of similar framed pieces, this particular work catches your eye. There are intriguing colors and shapes, but no discernible rhyme or reason to them. The painting speaks to you, but the exact meaning isn't clear to you at first glance. Art is created to communicate something, but we may not know exactly what it communicates. This begs the question, if an artist has something to say with their work, why not say it in a less ambiguous way? We would argue that this approach would stifle the message rather than amplify it, and we think Jesus might agree. Jesus is an artist and at times a mysterious artist willing to provoke his audience. Jesus worked in the medium of parables. A great example of Jesus' creativity on display shows up in Matthew chapter 13. Jesus presents his audience with a collection of parables, each of them rich with metaphor. For example, Jesus tells his audience a short story about a farmer planting seeds. In the story, some of these seeds are eaten by birds before they can take root. Some seeds land on rocks and can't take root, and some seeds grow but are choked by thorns and brambles. But in Jesus' story, one final set of seeds manages to take root, grow, and proliferate, becoming a generous crop. Later, when asked by the disciples to clarify the story's meaning, Jesus tells them it is about the kingdom of God, a new, in-breaking reality of a world being brought under the reign of a good king. And how did he best capture the power and majesty of this concept in metaphor? Bronze chariots, a stampede of buff warriors, a tidal wave, a hurricane? Nope. Some farmer planting seeds. Jesus' imagery is so unexpected that immediately after he concludes his parable, his followers ask him point blank, "Why do you speak to the people in parables?" In the book of Isaiah, the prophet experiences a powerful vision in which God commands that he warn Israel about their coming judgment. In fact, God says that Israel is going to be chopped down like a tree. But out of this stump, a holy seed of hope will grow. Isaiah tells King Ahaz the bad news, but he also begins to unpack this idea of a holy seed, saying, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son." Isaiah describes this seed of hope as a shoot growing from the stump, a coming king that will rescue God's people and rule with justice and peace forever. Jesus understood that, not unlike Isaiah, much of his audience was closed off to his message. So how would he spread his message that the kingdom of God had arrived? The parables of Jesus operate within a well-known paradox in artistic expression. The more watered down the message, the weaker it becomes for those who have ears to hear. This explains why Jesus often preferred to communicate truths about God's kingdom in parables. The people who already have the message, they'll get even more. For those who won't accept Jesus' message, the parables will only further confound them. The power of stories will penetrate the hearts of some while hardening the hearts of others. Jesus is not shrouding his message in mystery to include some while excluding others. And any curious listener could stick around to ask about the parable's meaning. Jesus tells his friends, "Blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear." For centuries, Israel had been waiting for the Messiah. Now this ragtag group of young people are seeing him. And yet, even to friends of Jesus, the kingdom of God is often mysterious. Sometimes Jesus alleviates that mystery, but sometimes he doesn't. In one story, Jesus tells a crowd that unless they eat his flesh and drink his blood, they have no life in them. In another, he claims to be capable of destroying the temple. Much of Jesus' audience is at best baffled. Jesus is an artist. He is not only concerned for communicative clarity, sometimes he seems completely uninterested in it. He wants to know and be known, what he's like, how he talks, and why. Jesus wants to speak truth to the deepest level of the soul. Artists want to communicate, but they also want to be known. We all do. So does God. The world's most noteworthy artists could have just written whatever it was they wanted to say on a big white canvas. We would have all understood, but we probably wouldn't be talking about it right now. While Jesus' parables are ancient, their artful communication transcends time. Today, writers, pastors, and thinkers continue to use metaphors to express complex spiritual ideas. The art of storytelling has the same power to provoke, inspire, and challenge as the parables of Jesus. Stories are invitations to explore the mystery of faith. In the parable of the sower, we see not just a story about farming, but an invitation to reflect on the condition of our hearts. What kind of soil are we? Are we like the rocky ground, or are we the fertile soil? This paradox challenges us to move beyond surface-level understanding and engage with the deeper truths that Jesus is revealing. By embracing the mystery, we allow ourselves to be drawn closer to the artist himself. Ultimately, Jesus' use of parables is an invitation to see beyond the obvious, to engage with the deeper meaning of his words, in a mysterious, beautiful story that continues to resonate with us today.